Happy Halloween weekend, everyone. It's been a crazy journey leading up to the end of the month with highest rates of hospitalization for COVID-19, more unfortunate fatalities, and we're also building up to the general election. I'm Tyler Matinani, and here's your trend spotting report. We're kicking it off with the coronavirus. Since our last report, there have been 9 deaths, 9 COVID-19 related deaths, pushing the death count from 69 to 78. This is as of Friday, October 30. As we continue to see our number of new cases rise, we're also seeing our highest rates of hospitalization for the virus. The Guam Memorial Hospital hit its capacity this week when there were 78 COVID-19 patients in its care. It's prompted hospital officials to work on shifting patients and resources, even adding tents outside to help accommodate the influx. Again, GMH Administrator Lillian Posadas expressed how the influx has overwhelmed her staff.
I don't know how else to get the message across to the people. Poor people, they do what they want to do, even though we try and tell them, what really is best and what can help the community. We just have to continue repeating it and telling people, wear your mask and, do the social distancing.
Here are some comments. On Facebook, Leonessa Beneventi says, "Girl, you got me crying. It's very true we do this work because we are compassionate. I'm sorry that our government leaders aren't working hard to make our hospital bigger for more rooms. We all knew that you guys busted your hardest during this pandemic, and our staff in DPHSS feel for all of you as well. Thank you." Marge Pangilinan says, "God's blessing to you all. Thank you for your dedication and support for the people of Guam and the neighboring islands. May we see the light at the end of the tunnel with this horrible pandemic. Safe travels to the nurses returning home." Josie Akfaji says, "Bless those who work in the hospital of Guam. My deepest sincere respect to each and every employee. Stay safe." We're going to dip out of the COVID realm just for a second to talk about the general elections happening on November 2nd. Perhaps the most contentious race this election is for the Guam delegate seat. Our current Congressman Michael San Nicolas is running again, and he's up against 2 challengers, former delegate Robert Underwood, also a Democrat, and Republican Senator Will Castro. We took a poll and asked who you thought would win. The results, Underwood with 38% of our votes, beating out San Nicolas, who garnered 32%, while Castro wasn't far behind with our 30%. Speaking of the Guam delegate, Congressman San Nicolas was making his own headlines late this week when he announced on social media he voluntarily went into a government isolation facility after being diagnosed with viral pneumonia. On Facebook, San Nicolas posted, quote, "While still negative, we don't want to take any chances among the public with these symptoms," unquote. Beyond his health, concerns were growing on how San Nicolas entered the facility without testing positive for the virus. On Friday morning, he called into the link to clear things up, but he was no longer at the Bayview Hotel. Instead, he was in a hospital bed in a hospital gown at the Guam Memorial Hospital. San Nicolas told Sabrina and Chris his doctor diagnosed him as a clinical COVID case. According to the hospital on Friday morning, San Nicolas was there as a PUI, or person under investigation. And in a non-COVID related story, Pope Francis got the world talking when his comments from a documentary revealed his support of civil unions. It prompted a response from Archbishop Michael Burns, who emphasized the Pope's words were not quite official. But what was official was a meet between the church leader and a devout Catholic who also identifies as a member of the LGBTQ community. On the link, Burns spoke with Glenn Lujan, who described the challenges LGBTQ faithful face as a battle. He invited Burns to get to know him and others like him who love and serve the church despite not always being accepted.
We're trying to live our best to live the gospel, and I hear you with the teachings, but there's that one itty bitty part, because we are in the same same sex relationship, but everything else, we're living by it. It's just that one part, that one clause.
Well, sin is sin, and there are some sins that are mortal, and we can God can forgive that.
Here's what you shared with us. On Facebook, Ka Tenatongo says, "This is progress. I'm thankful that it's being talked about." Adrian Benedict says, "Yes to gender equality, no to discrimination. Defend human rights, promote social justice." And Jeanette Tatautel says, "They deserve to be happy. Be their rainbow of hope. They need all the support they could receive. Faith is pivotal in daily practice. Embrace them." Hopefully the weather didn't spoil your weekend plans too much, but remember, we still need to keep each other safe by staying at home when we can. Remember to keep a space between you and the next person, and always wear your mask with others. Until next time, adios.